Men, respect her boundaries, honor her feelings, and never try to control her. Stop comparing, start appreciating. Keep your word and nurture emotional intimacy. Take responsibility instead of blaming, and never take her for granted. These choices don't just keep love alive, they build unshakable trust and lasting connection. Boundaries are not walls meant to shut you out. They are doors she chooses to open when she feels safe. When a woman sets boundaries, she is communicating how she needs to be treated in order to feel respected, valued, and secure in your presence. Ignoring those boundaries isn't just a small misstep. It's a sign that you're not truly listening to her needs. And when a woman feels unheard, her trust begins to wither. You can't build a deep, meaningful connection with someone whose comfort and limits you ignore. Disrespecting her boundaries can take many forms. It could be pressuring her to share more than she's ready to, pushing physical intimacy before she's comfortable, invading her privacy by going through her phone or personal belongings, or disregarding her requests for space when she needs it. These moments might feel minor to you, but they can leave lasting emotional impressions. Boundaries are deeply tied to a person's sense of safety, and once that safety is compromised, rebuilding it can take much longer than you think. A man who understands the value of boundaries recognizes that they are not restrictions, but expressions of self-worth. When she says, "I'm not ready to talk about this yet," or "I need some alone time," she is giving you an opportunity to demonstrate respect and patience. The way you respond to her limits speaks volumes about your emotional maturity and the kind of partner you are. If you push, argue, or try to manipulate her into changing her mind, you're showing that your needs outweigh her comfort in your eyes. That is a fast track to losing her respect and her trust. Respecting her boundaries also shows that you are secure within yourself. Insecure men tend to take boundaries personally, as if they are a rejection or an attack. But confident, emotionally grounded men understand that boundaries are a healthy part of any relationship. They see them as a framework within which love can grow freely, without fear of overstepping or suffocating each other. By honoring her boundaries, you show that you're capable of loving her without needing to control her. There's another layer to this. When you respect her boundaries, you encourage her to respect yours. Relationships are a two-way street. The mutual recognition of limits builds a balance where both people can thrive without resentment. It creates an environment where both partners can open up more deeply, knowing their vulnerabilities will be treated with care, not exploited. If you think crossing her boundaries will make her closer to you, you're mistaken. The truth is, it will push her further away. Every time you honor her limits, you earn her trust. Every time you violate them, you chip away at the bond between you. Respect is not built through grand gestures alone. It's built in the small moments when you choose to listen, wait, and honor the space she asks for. And in the end, that respect becomes the foundation for something far more powerful than control, genuine connection. When a woman shares her feelings, she is letting you into the most vulnerable part of her mind. Whether she's expressing joy, frustration, sadness, or fear, those emotions are not just words. They are windows into her inner world. Dismissing those feelings, even unintentionally, sends a message that her experiences don't matter, that her perspective is invalid, or that she's being too much. Over time, this erodes the emotional safety she feels with you, and without that safety, intimacy begins to fade. Dismissing her feelings can happen in subtle ways. It's not always a blatant, "you're overreacting." Sometimes it's a sigh, an eye roll, a sarcastic comment, or changing the subject because you're uncomfortable. It can also happen when you jump straight into problem solving without first acknowledging what she's feeling. Many men think offering solutions is supportive, but often she's not looking for answers. She's looking for understanding. When she says she's had a bad day, she doesn't always want you to fix it. She wants to know that you hear her and that her emotions matter to you. When you dismiss her feelings, even if it's because you think she's being dramatic or sensitive, you're essentially telling her that the reality she's experiencing isn't valid. That's not just invalidating, it's deeply isolating. People need to feel seen and heard to maintain closeness. Without that, she will eventually stop sharing altogether. And when she stops sharing, the emotional intimacy in the relationship begins to wither. Respecting her emotions means practicing empathy. It's the willingness to step into her shoes and understand why she feels the way she does, even if you wouldn't feel the same in her situation. You don't have to agree with every emotion she has, but you do have to acknowledge that those emotions are real for her. A simple, "I understand you feel that way," or "I can see why this upset you," can go a long way in making her feel valued. It also means being present in the moment. When she's opening up, put down your phone, turn off the TV, and give her your full attention. Your body language and tone communicate as much as your words. If you're distracted, impatient, or defensive, she will sense it immediately. On the other hand, if you lean in, maintain eye contact, and listen without interrupting, you show her that her feelings matter enough for you to pause everything else. This doesn't mean you have to absorb her emotions as your own or agree with every point she makes. It simply means you hold space for them. That space becomes a safe zone where she knows she can express herself without being shut down, mocked, or minimized. The truth is, people remember how you made them feel far more than they remember what you said. If you consistently dismiss her emotions, she'll remember the sting of being unheard. But if you consistently acknowledge and respect her feelings, she'll remember that you were the one person who truly listened, and that's a bond that's hard to break. Trying to control a woman's life is one of the quickest ways to lose her respect, trust, and affection. A relationship should be a space where two individuals grow side by side, not a space where one person dictates how the other should live, think, or behave. Control may come disguised as care or guidance, but underneath it's rooted in insecurity and fear. A healthy connection thrives on freedom, not domination. Control can show up in many forms. It might be telling her what to wear, deciding who she can spend time with, constantly checking up on her, or subtly discouraging her from pursuing certain dreams. It can also be emotional manipulation, making her feel guilty for making choices that don't align with your preferences. Even seemingly small restrictions add up over time, creating an environment where she feels watched rather than supported. A woman in this situation may comply for a while, but deep down, she starts to lose her sense of self, and resentment grows quietly in the background. What many men fail to realize is that control does not strengthen a relationship, it weakens it. Love cannot thrive where freedom is absent. When you attempt to control her, you are essentially saying you don't trust her judgment, that you believe you know what's best for her life more than she does. This is not leadership, it's an erosion of respect, and a woman who loses respect for you will eventually lose attraction too. True strength lies in allowing her to be fully herself, even when her choices don't align with yours. This doesn't mean you can't voice concerns or offer opinions, but it means you do so from a place of respect, not dominance. A man who supports a woman's independence communicates that he's secure enough to let her shine without needing to dim her light. In fact, that kind of security often draws her closer because she feels safe to be authentic around you. It's also important to recognize that a woman who feels free in a relationship often gives more to it. When she knows she has the autonomy to live her life, pursue her goals, and maintain her identity, she will choose to stay with you out of genuine desire, not out of fear or obligation. This choice is far more powerful than forced compliance. Control stems from the belief that if you loosen your grip, you'll lose her. But the truth is, the tighter you hold on, the more she will want to break free. The relationships that last are the ones where both people are there because they want to be, not because they feel trapped. The most attractive men are those who can inspire loyalty without demanding it, who can love without smothering, and who can stand beside a woman without trying to steer every step she takes. When you stop trying to control her life, you open the door for real connection, one that's built on mutual trust, respect, and the shared decision to walk the journey together, not under one person's command. Comparing a woman to other women is one of the most damaging things you can do in a relationship. Whether it's about looks, personality, habits, or achievements, these comparisons create a silent competition she never agreed to participate in. They plant seeds of insecurity, resentment, and distrust, none of which are compatible with a healthy, lasting connection. When you compare her, you send an unspoken message that who she is right now is not enough, and that she needs to measure up to someone else's standards to keep your attention. Sometimes comparisons are blatant, like saying, "My ex used to do this," or "Why can't you be more like her?" Other times, they're subtle, praising another woman's qualities in a way that implies your partner is lacking. Even compliments toward others can sting if they highlight an area where she already feels vulnerable. For example, admiring another woman's ambition when she's been struggling with career confidence, or praising someone's fitness when she's been self-conscious about her body, can unintentionally hurt deeply. The truth is, no one wants to feel like they're constantly being measured against someone else. A woman wants to feel chosen for who she is, not for how closely she matches some ideal you've created in your head. When you compare her, you shift the relationship dynamic from partnership to performance, where she feels she must constantly prove her worth to win your approval. That kind of pressure drains emotional intimacy and replaces it with anxiety. Every woman is unique. She has her own strengths, quirks, and beauty that make her unlike anyone else. When you start focusing on what she lacks compared to others, you overlook the qualities that drew you to her in the first place. Over time, she may begin to question why you're even with her, and that self-doubt can push her away emotionally. Respecting her individuality means valuing her for her differences, not in spite of them. Instead of pointing out how she doesn't measure up to someone else, pay attention to what makes her stand out. Celebrate her unique sense of humor, the way she thinks, the small things she does for you that no one else would. When she feels truly seen and appreciated for who she is, she will naturally want to invest more into the relationship. It's also worth remembering that comparison works both ways. If she started comparing you to other men, highlighting all the ways you fall short, you'd likely feel defensive, inadequate, and disconnected. The same feelings arise for her when you make those comparisons, and the emotional damage can be just as lasting. The most secure and loving men understand that their partner's worth is not defined in relation to others. They know that admiration grows when you focus on what you have, not what you think you're missing. The more you affirm her as she is, the more confident and open she becomes, and that confidence will only make her more magnetic to you. Emotional intimacy is the glue that holds a relationship together long after the initial spark fades. It's the deep connection built on trust, vulnerability, and the ability to truly understand each other. When you neglect emotional intimacy, you may still have physical attraction, but the heart of the relationship starts to wither. Without it, the bond becomes shallow, and over time, even physical closeness begins to feel empty. Neglecting emotional intimacy doesn't happen overnight. It's usually a gradual process. Maybe you stop having meaningful conversations, replace quality time with distractions, or become too busy to check in on each other's feelings. It might also mean you avoid discussing difficult topics because you want to keep the peace. The problem is, avoiding emotional engagement creates distance. You may still share a home or a bed, but emotionally, you're living separate lives. A woman needs to feel emotionally connected to feel secure and fulfilled in a relationship. When she shares her thoughts, fears, or dreams, she's not just making conversation. She's opening a door for you to understand her on a deeper level. If you respond with disinterest, impatience, or superficial answers, that door slowly begins to close. Over time, she will stop trying to connect, not because she doesn't care, but because she no longer feels safe doing so. Emotional intimacy thrives when both partners actively nurture it. This means listening without judgment, sharing your own feelings, and creating moments where you can be fully present with each other. It's not about grand romantic gestures. It's about the little things, asking how her day really went, remembering details about her life, and being attentive to her emotional needs. Those small acts of care send the message, I see you, I hear you, and you matter to me. Neglecting this side of the relationship can lead to misunderstandings, resentment, and even infidelity, not necessarily because someone is looking for physical satisfaction elsewhere, but because they're craving emotional connection. A partner who feels unseen or emotionally starved may become vulnerable to attention from someone who listens and understands them. That's how relationships often fail. Not from one big betrayal, but from 1,000 small moments where connection was missing. For emotional intimacy to flourish, you have to be willing to show vulnerability yourself. Many men hold back their emotions, thinking they need to appear strong or unshakable, but true strength is in being open. When you share your fears, hopes, and struggles, you invite her to do the same. This mutual openness builds a deep bond that can withstand challenges and disagreements because you know you're on the same emotional team. A relationship without emotional intimacy is like a house without a foundation. It might look fine from the outside, but eventually it will collapse. The couples who last are the ones who prioritize connection, even when life gets busy. They know that love isn't just about being together. It's about truly knowing and cherishing each other on a soul-deep level. Keeping your word is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to build trust in a relationship. When you make a promise or give your word, you're not just agreeing to do something, you're creating an expectation and showing her that she can rely on you. Breaking that word, no matter how small the matter may seem, chips away at the foundation of trust. And once that trust is weakened, it's very hard to rebuild. Many men underestimate how much their consistency matters. It's not just about the big commitments like loyalty or major life plans. It's also about the smaller promises, calling when you said you would, showing up on time, or following through on plans you made together. When you keep your word, you send a clear message. You can count on me. But when you repeatedly fail to follow through, even in small ways, she begins to wonder if you're dependable at all. Breaking your word isn't always about lying. Sometimes it's about overpromising and under-delivering. You may have good intentions in the moment, but if you consistently fail to do what you say, your words lose their weight. Over time, she stops believing you, not because she wants to doubt you, but because your actions have trained her to. Once a woman feels she can't depend on your promises, she will start protecting herself emotionally, which creates distance in the relationship. Keeping your word also reflects integrity. Integrity means doing what you say you'll do, even when it's inconvenient, difficult, or no one else is watching. It's about honoring commitments not because you're afraid of conflict, but because you value your own credibility. A man who consistently keeps his word earns respect naturally. She knows that when you say something, you mean it, and that certainty creates a sense of safety in the relationship. There's also an emotional side to keeping your promises. When you follow through, you show that you value her time, her trust, and her feelings. For example, if you promise to be there for an important moment in her life, a meeting, a celebration, a difficult day, and you actually show up, it tells her that her priorities matter to you. Conversely, if you cancel last minute or forget altogether, it can leave her feeling unimportant and undervalued. Of course, life can be unpredictable, and sometimes circumstances make it impossible to keep a promise. The key in those situations is honest and timely communication. If something changes, let her know as soon as possible. Explain why and make it right. What damages trust isn't the occasional broken plan. It's the repeated pattern of saying one thing and doing another without accountability. In the end, your word is your reputation. A man who keeps his promises builds a relationship grounded in respect, security, and loyalty. A man who doesn't risk turning every "I'll do it" into an empty phrase. The difference between the two determines whether she sees you as a partner she can rely on or someone she has to guard herself against. Avoiding accountability is one of the fastest ways to damage respect in a relationship. When you refuse to own your mistakes, shift blame, or make excuses, you send the message that your pride matters more than the truth. Accountability isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest and responsible for your actions, even when it's uncomfortable. A woman can accept that you're human and will make mistakes. What she can't accept is a partner who won't acknowledge those mistakes when they happen. Dodging responsibility often starts small. Maybe you forget to do something you promised and quickly point to a busy schedule instead of admitting you overlooked it. Maybe you say something hurtful in an argument and then brush it off as just a joke, instead of acknowledging the impact of your words. Over time, these patterns create an environment where honesty and trust begin to erode because she learns that you care more about defending yourself than repairing the relationship. True accountability requires humility. It means being willing to look in the mirror and recognize when you've been wrong, when your actions have caused harm, or when your words have fallen short. It's not easy. It requires swallowing your pride and putting the health of the relationship above your ego. But the strength it takes to admit fault and make amends is far more attractive than the illusion of always being right. When you take accountability, you give the relationship a chance to grow from conflict instead of being torn apart by it. Mistakes can actually strengthen a bond when they're handled correctly. If you own up to your behavior, apologize sincerely, and take concrete steps to make things right, you demonstrate maturity and emotional intelligence. This builds her confidence that she can trust you not just when things are easy, but also when they get difficult. Avoiding accountability, on the other hand, traps the relationship in cycles of unresolved tension. When problems aren't addressed honestly, resentment builds silently. She may stop bringing up her concerns because she already knows you'll deny or deflect. This silence isn't peace, it's emotional withdrawal. And once she starts pulling away emotionally, it's incredibly hard to rebuild that closeness. A powerful way to practice accountability is to separate your identity from your actions. Making a mistake doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you human. The real test of character is how you respond afterward. Can you admit when you've hurt her? Can you take the necessary steps to ensure it doesn't happen again? Can you apologize without turning it into a defense of your intentions? In a healthy relationship, accountability is mutual, but as a man, leading by example sets the tone. When you consistently own your part, you create a safe space where she feels she can own hers too. The truth is, a relationship built on honesty and accountability can withstand far more than one built on avoidance and excuses. Taking responsibility doesn't make you weak. It shows you have the strength to face the truth and grow from it. Taking a woman's efforts for granted is one of the most silent yet destructive mistakes a man can make in a relationship. Over time, the little things she does for you, the acts of care, the emotional support, the way she tries to make your life better, can start to feel so routine that you forget they're a choice she makes every day, not an obligation. When you stop noticing and appreciating those efforts, you create an imbalance where she gives and gives while feeling unseen and undervalued. Her efforts may not always be grand or dramatic. They might be as simple as cooking your favorite meal, remembering important dates, listening when you've had a rough day, or supporting you in your goals. She might be making sacrifices you don't even see, adjusting her schedule to spend more time with you, being patient with your moods, or taking care of details so your life runs more smoothly. These things may seem small, but they often come from a deep place of love and commitment. When they're ignored, she eventually starts to wonder if her presence and contributions even matter to you. The danger in taking her efforts for granted is that it slowly drains her emotional energy. At first, she may continue giving because it's in her nature or because she believes in the relationship. But when her gestures are consistently met with indifference or lack of acknowledgement, she begins to feel like her love is one-sided. That's when she starts to pull back, not as a punishment, but as a form of self-protection. Appreciation is the antidote to complacency. It doesn't take much to let her know you see and value what she does. Saying thank you, giving her a genuine compliment, or simply acknowledging her effort goes a long way. The key is sincerity. Empty praise without genuine recognition feels just as bad as no acknowledgement at all. When you truly see her and express gratitude for her presence and contributions, you make her feel important and cherished. It's also important to understand that appreciation is not just verbal. It's shown through actions. Reciprocate her efforts. Support her goals the way she supports yours. Pay attention to her needs and take initiative in the relationship instead of waiting for her to do everything. When she sees you matching her energy, it reinforces the idea that this is a partnership, not a one-sided arrangement. Relationships thrive when both people feel valued. When you notice the small details, celebrate her contributions, and remind her through words and actions that you don't take her for granted, you're not just keeping her happy, you're strengthening the bond you share. Because the truth is, once a woman feels consistently unappreciated, she may still love you, but she'll stop giving you the best parts of herself. And when that happens, it's often the beginning of the end. At the heart of any strong, lasting relationship lies respect, trust, and emotional connection. Every point we've discussed, from honoring her boundaries to appreciating her efforts, is about creating a space where love can flourish without fear, control, or neglect. When you choose to respect her individuality, listen to her feelings, keep your word, stay accountable, and cherish what she brings into your life, you're not just protecting the relationship, you're elevating it. A woman who feels valued, safe, and understood will naturally give back that same energy in abundance. In the end, love isn't kept alive by grand gestures alone, but by the daily choices you make to treat her with care, honor, and genuine appreciation. Those choices are what turn affection into loyalty and attraction into a bond that stands the test of time.